Thanks for staying with us this morning. We're in Topeka, and we're joined by Brad Fink with QBE NAU Insurance, crop insurance. Brad, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having us.
Widespread flooding, I mean, this has been an extremely wet spring coming into summer also. Farmers may not get replanted, may not have even gotten planted this year. Brad, what should we be thinking about before we call our crop adjuster?
Well, first thing to do is to contact your agent. Anytime you suspect any damage has occurred to your crop, contact your agent so they can submit a notice to your company on your behalf, and that way we can have an adjuster get in contact with you and start working through the loss adjustment process.
At what point in time should a producer go, I can't replant, I didn't get planted by the June 25th deadline for beans? What's the time frame?
Okay, to report their notice in the event they have not had the opportunity to plant yet, they need to report their notice no later than 72 hours after the end of the late planting period. That's a pretty strict guideline set forth in the crop policy. In the event they need to replant or still thinking about replanting, by all means contact your agent, get a notice submitted to us so we can get an adjuster on site and work with the producer to look through their options.
Well, and I'm sure there's maybe a backlog of adjusters coming out. I mean, states widespread flooding. Should they be taking video or pictures of stuff before an adjuster comes out, or just kind of leave things status quo?
Well, first of all, most importantly, do not disrupt the crop at all. Do not destroy any crop that's been planted prior to an adjuster giving them consent to do so. In regards to documentation with photos or videos, if they want to document their claim in that regards, by all means, that's okay. But since an adjuster is going to have to be on site to release that crop first, they will be able to document that damage as well.
Before they make that call, some of the basic information they may need to have.
At this time of year, with acres just being reported on their crop insurance policies, we're going to have to verify their insurable interest in the crop. Since the crop has not been harvested, a lot of times we use settlement sheets, the final disposition of the crop, to verify that share. We'll need some type of third-party documentation, be input receipts, lease agreements, those types of items. Primarily, other than that, just be available to show the adjuster the damage and let them make their appraisals and their assessments.
Perfect. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to finish up with Brad Fink. Watching Kansas Ag Report. We'll see you in just a minute.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center. Your stem cells, your health, your life. Farmers Insurance, your best protection against the unexpected. Call Agent Dan Key at 785-408-5459. Grass and Grain, online or in the mail, keeping Kansas farmers informed for over 60 years. grassandgrain.com. Blue River Traders, the finest selection of Western-style furniture for your home. BlueRiverTraders.com.
Thanks for staying with us through the break. We're joined by Brad Fink today, who's a crop adjuster with QBE NAU here in Topeka, Kansas, and we're talking about what you should be doing if you got to make a claim coming into this summer. So, Brad, prevented planting. We've got guys who are going to probably double crop into some wheat. Wheat's wet, fields are wet, can't get the wheat out. What should they be thinking about if they want to put beans back behind that wheat?
Right, absolutely. In the situations of double cropping, we have a lot of instances where the wheat's recently been harvested or may still be in the field, and it's just too wet in a lot of instances to get that out or get the planter back in there to plant the beans. So again, make sure you submit your notice no later than 72 hours after the end of the late planting period, so we can get an adjuster on site and start working through the preventive planting process.
Okay. Talking about wheat, crops seen a lot of issues. The crops had a lot of issues this year. We'll just kind of go with it, stripe rust and some other things. What are you hearing? Alpha toxins coming out of maybe some of the fields, and what should they be thinking about before they go to the elevator?
Right. With the excessive moisture on our winter wheat crop, we are seeing some test weight issues, some sprouting issues, and even some reports of vomit toxin in the north central and northeastern part of the state. In regards to the toxins, If you suspect you have vomit toxin, at that point you need to contact your agent so they can so those claims can be submitted because the sample is going to have to be pulled and delivered to a state licensed testing facility to be graded for those toxins in order to be eligible for the discounts that are allowed on the policy for any type of toxins that may be in your grain.
So we get that harvested, we've got it in a truck, we think we may have some toxin issues. Where are we going to dump that? What's your best advice on that?
It all depends. It truly is a case-by-case scenario depending upon what the markets are doing in those areas. It can become very, very complicated very quickly. All the adjusters industry-wide are well trained on, based upon if the grain goes to the bin, there's a certain set of rules. If it's directly marketed, there's another set of rules. But that's the importance of getting a notice submitted, getting an adjuster on site and being in contact so the producers do know how their policy works and all the options that they do have before them.
We got just about a minute left. ARC versus PLC, is there any difference when we're calling our adjuster?
No, the ARC, the PLC doesn't affect us as it pertains to the loss adjustment side on the crop insurance.
Perfect. Brad, thank you for your time.
Thank you.